for people who are deep into the red pill, when it goes very, and by the way, like, I've been familiar with this concept since I was a teenager. So for all these people who've just discovered the red pill recently, like, don't try to school me on this. Um, it can end up overcorrecting and becoming almost like a male version of the modern feminism that we dislike, where men start having this victim mentality and wanting to put, just like these feminists are blaming men for everything and saying the patriarchy, it's the patriarchy, it's everything, it's men, it's never them. Men need to be careful that they don't overcorrect into this same mentality of trying to absolve ourselves of our masculine duties and responsibilities and overall ethics, and putting all the blame on women and females. I say the exact same thing to feminists. So I don't want to see that overcorrection in the other direction, where it just becomes this very hardline ideology and becomes resentful. Becomes resentful. Just like when people go too deep into feminism, they often end up becoming misandrous and having an animosity and a resentment towards men. It can happen the other way around when guys go really, really deep, especially like the sort of new red pill stuff, and they end up, being so deep into the philosophy and ideology that they're not really thinking of themselves individually, and they're just
But
painting
I
with
think
very
it's
broad
always been
strokes.
like that. Like, even if you look at into the biblical term, like, a woman was not allowed to be a pastor. A woman
Yeah.
has to be silent in the church. I think it's always been where a woman is supposed to be subordinate. And this is what's happening. These comments are just showing society's reaction
it
to
said
women.
helpmate, like,
Sorry?
helpmate in the Bible.
Yeah,
Because your man's helpmate.
I know, but that's the thing. Like, why is she this little helper? Like, she's just supposed to be in the background. Why can't she lead? Why can't she do that? I think
Again, to my point, a woman can. A woman can. The point is that is traditionally a masculine role, and this often comes down to what both each gender is attracted to. As I said before, a woman can have that position and want to roll and even want to be the breadwinner and so on and so forth. And she can find a guy who will be happy with that and will be happy to assume that position. I'm just saying that's going to be a more feminized man.
I mean, I don't agree with that personally.
That's just the reality of it, because you're going to get the complementary aspect. So if a man is very, very masculine in a traditional sense, he's likely to attract and be compatible with a very, very feminine woman. If a woman is coming in playing more the traditional masculine role, then a man who wants to also play that traditional masculine, they're going to clash. They're not going to get on well with each other.
And I think, to me, that's always been the problem, because I'm a leader. Like, I like to lead in a relationship.
Okay.
But I also like my man to lead.
No, it won't. I'm just saying that won't work.
But what I'm trying to say, exactly, because people keep saying it's not going to work. So
won't.
men have it in their head that no, it can't work. I can't let it lead.
Let me tell you something.
It's
not just in our head. It's in our biological wiring. It's in our instinct. So just like you are you? Do you prefer taller men?
To be honest, as long as you're
taller than you.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you're taller than me, yes, of course.
Okay, right. So just like that's hardwired in you biologically, even if you wanted to like force yourself to try to be more attracted to men shorter than you, and you can't biologically, it's the same as a man in wanting to play a certain role in a relationship and to be a leader to an extent. It's hardwired in us. It's not just a societal opinion or a construct.
But as soon as you don't allow me to have certain control of certain aspects in the relationship, I'm already turned off anyway. I could be so attracted to you, and as soon as you're like, I've got to control the finances, I've got to do this, I'm like, know what, boy, bye. I'm leaving.
I feel like you just want the best of everything.
No, you
just want. Why can't I have? Okay, why can't men have pure virgins?
Because men are having sex with women, so they can't be virgins.
I'm saying like women bring less to the table than ever. We're less pure. We're older when we get married, and so it's like you don't see Zuby on this panel saying like, why isn't everyone 22? Like, and so it's like you just want everything.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep fighting for women's rights and minority rights. Y'all can hate me. People naturally hate me because I'm so against what society is.
No, I do
believe a woman can do it all.
I think it's because you're argumentative. I don't think it's because you're against what society is. I think the backlash you get is because you're argumentative and you interrupt.
No, that's got nothing to do with it.
I'll
And
be real.
Can
I'll
we not
real.
be insulting
I
again?
think,
I
think,
do get
you know
quite
what?
annoyed
Do you know
when
what?
we do that.
I think you're actually a very compassionate person. But I think that compassion is sometimes blinding you to certain realities. I also just think you're young, right? And I'm not trying to be this patronizing person, right?
Mm.
But when as you get older, some of the things will, right? Like, even between between the ages of 25 and 35, the way certain things that like my parents used to say or that I used to hear, the way some of it started like clicking, and I was like, oh, okay, like that's why it was like that. Or you just experience 10 more years of life, and you interact with thousands and thousands of more people, and you see,
No.
okay, that's why certain things are certain ways. It's not just because people are mean and nasty and want to like press down on women or
No, it's because
whatever.
men don't want to accept that women, we can make our own money.
We know you can.
We can
We know.
build. We don't need your money.
don't care.
It's like
Okay,
at the end of it,
so why
exactly,
do
they
you
don't
why
care.
do you even want to get married? You said you want to get married. Why?
Because I love men. I actually like
But
men.
why get
But
married?
do you know what? Actually, this is a point I've always been wanting to make. I've come to realization that men don't actually like women.
That's not true.
They just see
I'll
us.
tell-
No,
I'll
no, no,
confirm
no,
that
think-
that
no.
is not true.
All you see us
No.
is for sex.
No.
If you respected us, you would want to know.
Is this how I've come across in the past 3
No,
hours?
no, 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 no. I
I'm
do
a man,
think. I mean,
so,
that's why
you
you're
know.
getting hate, though. That's why you're getting hate because
But
you have a bit of a balance.
I'm mostly getting love. I'm just
Yeah.
saying I think there's a couple guys in the chat who have what I call red pill rage.
Yeah, but as soon as you started talking about the balance, there was rage.
Yeah, there's some,
and
of course.
that's because I do think men just see us as sex objects.
We generally
They
don't.
respect us. I don't think men respect us. They respect their other fellow men. They see a man and think, oh, he's strong. Yeah, he can do this. They see a woman, she's weak. All I want to do is put her penis inside of her.
I think if I were making a statement that broad and generalized about women, you wouldn't like it.
Would you say, do you have brothers?
Yeah.
Do you have cousins, boy cousins?
Yeah.
Is your father still in your life?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you say that since you're clumping all of them together, you say they just want females for sex?
Like I will say that because a lot of the time I will have to even check my brother to say, why are you not allowing her to make a decision? It's her life. I will check men. Even if I love you, I also have to understand that women need to be respected. It's not happening. Look at the comments.
Do you
They
check
don't
women?
even-
Do you check women for not being
Of
the things that
course.
men
Like,
want?
do you know the
so
women-
if a girl's like being a hoe, will you check her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as much as
same-
I check men. So when she was talking about the story about the woman that had 16 kids and the man that had 16 kids, to me, both of them hoes. I don't see her as a hoe. No, I'm sorry. Both of them need to be held responsible. And I think that's what's not happening. We keep slut shaming women, but a man, he's a gallist. Women love him. We're not putting responsibilities on men, and I think it's a problem.
I think that men have all the responsibility. Again, like men pay for everything. Every decision they make,
and I
there's
don't
a
think
consequence.
they should. I don't think they should.
But I'm saying like we're not putting any of the
do you know-
responsibility. I'm saying we're not putting any of the responsibility. You're saying we're not putting the responsibility on men. I'm saying they have all of it because there's a consequence when they do something. There's not for women. So if anything, you could argue it more the other way around.
Do you know what I think is really, really confusing with this point where we are right now in modern society is people really want to have the cake and eat it too. People want to be traditional, to kind of cherry pick some of the traditional elements and the gender roles, and then completely have like this total equality view in other places, and kind of cherry pick from all these things. And these things don't work. They don't work together. They don't work in harmony. You can't have like all of it, right? If it's like, okay, we're going to just treat men and women exactly the same with very few accommodations, no special treatment and so on. We're not going to have chivalry and, men and women and men, women and children get off the boat, the sinking boat first, right? You can't, in a truly equalist society, you can't have those accommodations.
But I
right?
do already agree with that.
Yeah.
I think a man, if he says,
So-
I don't want to propose to you, babe,
Yeah.
I understand because you know what? Rings are expensive.
Yeah, I'm
let's go off
Yeah,
then.
but-
You know what I
but-
mean?
but
I
the-
already think that.
But the reality is that men and women, due to our biology, we're still wired to be attracted to the same things that our ancestors were. So
But that's
even
categorized,
so generally speaking, even though yes, women can make money. In fact, under the age of 30, in most cases, in many Western countries now, women actually out earn men on average, right? It's not until they get into their 30s and oftentimes start families that it switches, because they're the ones who have get pregnant and breastfeed and so on. It makes sense. But where was I going with this? I lost my train of thought there. It's a little bit late.
We
for me,
want to
probably.
eat our cake and have it.
Yeah, they don't. These things are not. They're not compatible. They're not compatible. You can't be on one hand saying, strong, independent woman, got my own money, whatever. Oh, but also I still want the man to be taller and make even more money than I do and to lead, but I also want to lead, and I want it just doesn't. It contradicts too much.
I agree.
It contradicts too much.